went away.
I'm here. I'm here.
And um and quicker and what's happening is explain the game real quick because we already explained it. But
Before I drop my phone, we're playing a game called The And.
Yeah.
We're playing the Friends edition because we're friends. We said we could play any other edition, family, lovers, all that stuff. We're playing Friends. We're recording it, maybe on YouTube. Don't know. Yes. We'll find out. But we have 10 questions, and Dip was getting ready to start with the first question, which is pretty fire, and I was already getting emotional, and then I dropped my phone. So back to where we were. Okay. My question to Dip was, what can I do to be a better friend?
Okay. And so what I was going to say was, my truth, and this is not just me being kind, this is what I genuinely feel, is legitimately, I think you're already the best friend that I can have. Man, like, you're one of the few people in my life that I can't remember the last time we argued, man. And
we used to argue a lot when we were kids.
Yeah. I mean, even then, like, I don't really, like, I think about it, like, legitimately. I don't think we've ever had a real serious anything like that. Mm-hmm. We've been through so much together, like, seeing each other go through so much crap, and, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if there is anything you can do. You already, to me, like, you are already, like, the pinnacle of what I want in a friend. You know what I mean? Like, you peaked out the chart, man. Like, I basically use you and, like, a couple other people, like, as a litmus test for what kind of people I want in my life. You know what I mean? Like, through all that we've been through, where we were seeing each other all the time in the beginning, back in the apartments in Central Plaza.
God.
Then moving and, like, you and I going different ways in middle school. Then I moved and went to moved to Hillsborough, and then we went to different high school. Then we weren't seeing each other so much. And then you went to university, and then, like, we saw each other once every, like, 3 months, maybe then. Maybe 4 months, longer.
Even talked. Like, we would go weeks without really talking.
Yeah. And then, like, but it's just weird because anytime we saw each other, man, like, it was like no time had passed. And I, like, the way I know that this is meaningful to me is that I don't have that with just everybody. Mm-hmm. I get along with everybody, but, like, the way me and you just, as soon as we're back together again, is we're right back to where we were. It's like nothing has, you know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. And you've changed as a person, and I've changed as a person, and we've literally seen each other grow up, like, and we're still here.
Yeah.
I can't say that there's anything that I would make you a better friend, man. You're already, like, the pinnacle to me. You set the standard.
There's no way I could be a better friend to you. Like, there's nothing that you wish I did more with you. Like, if I do something that bugs you, or you're like, yeah. I could easily think of, like, a dozen things. Not to make you a better friend, but how I could be a better friend.
No, I don't know, man. Because to me, it's like, I've always, like, understood, even when you're in university, I know that, you were far, like, I want the best for you. You know what I mean? So, like, I know when you give me your time and energy, like, I know it's a value to me. And I know that you're always willing to give that to me without me having to ask. And whenever I have asked, you've always given it to me. So, I don't know, man. I'm a man of simple needs, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
So, like, your love and your support it's enough, man. It's more than enough. It fills my cup easily, overflows it, as a matter of fact.
That's all I'm going to keep trying to do.
Yeah,
there are definitely things I personally think there are things that I could do to be a better friend to you specifically, but that's not the question.
Well, what about for you? What can I do?
Maybe it's like, because it's like looking out. So, like, there's nothing that I think you could do. Like I'm in the same boat as you, where it's like, okay, you've always accommodated me and my needs all the time, like, even growing up. And even now, especially when we were becoming adults, you always like accommodated things that I needed. And the big one was like that feeling of like, we don't need to talk to each other all the time.
Yeah.
And need to hang out. And if we can't, oh, well, like there's next week or another time. But even our chats, like they can be like, this is like a bigger chat for you or me. But like we can have a small chat that can just be like through text, and it would be, and I enjoy it. It can be like as few words. But when I look at like basically my hierarchy of friends, because you're similar in this way too, where we have like a bunch of circles, right? Like you and I definitely
multiple social, yeah.
Like but like the relationship I have with you stands out above the rest, and even like people who I consider like my next closest friends. So like my next closest best friend would probably be Sean.
Yeah.
And my relationship with him is way different than what I have with you. And maybe it's because they serve like different needs that I have.
Yeah.
But I've always looked to you as like, because we're so similar, but you honestly have traits like that I want. And I like, you inspire me to like want to get those traits and see like the benefit of those. So like one of those is like showing off the talents. Like post, that video that I made, and that I'm gonna probably remake because I'm picky, but but I'm already thinking about, okay, if I redo these songs, what are my next songs? Like I want to share that, and you said it perfectly. It was like, why not share that with the world and tell other people to share their talents? Like you don't need to be great at it to share it. And just like how you interact with people, because like I tend to be, even though I can be extroverted and stuff, I also tend to like close myself off a lot.
For sure.
I'm just like, sometimes I just don't feel like talking to people, or hanging out, or just getting like even on a phone call. Like sometimes I'm just like, there's no point in this. But when I see you interact with people and the interactions you have, like it reminds me of like why those are important. Because like regardless, even if this wasn't happening, it would still be important.
Yeah.
Right. This whole COVID stuff, it's even more important now, but which is what I'm thinking will be I'm hoping the positive that comes out in however long this lasts for, is like everyone will become closer.
Yeah, man.
But for you, there's nothing that you can do because you're already doing so much. And I see that you're a great friend, not only to me, but even to other people. And seeing the stuff you've done for other people. And that's like, I'm super happy. Like I miss you a ton, but like you already reach out to me all the time. You send funny stuff to me. When you need me, you let me know. Like I know when you need me because you're being serious about it. Yeah. But I enjoy just watching you treat other people with so much respect, and like, especially like young people, like at Impact. Yeah. Like there's some young people there that you have really imprinted on. and hopefully very good things. And it's funny, like with you and Gone, seeing how different they are. And when I talked, even though it's been a while, but like Madison's a good person, right? Yeah. She's like, oh, I missed Dip. And I was like, then fucking call him. Like don't say you miss him. Like everyone's at Impact's like, oh, how's Dip doing? It's like, call him. He would love to talk to any of you. You all know this. But that's your attitude. Like if I miss you, I'm gonna call you. Yeah. Right. So
I tried.
Maybe I understand why you said to answer you, because now I had to answer it. But I'm sure you could think of something, but I definitely could. But yeah. Anyways, we got 9 more questions. Are you ready for your?
We went completely off topic.
Yeah, it was just fine. The game is built for that. Everyone plays it a little differently. Yeah. Like I played this with Justin, and he wanted to keep the questions to each other. So like. I wanted to follow up. He's like, nope, I'm not answering back. This question's to you. We don't have to play that way.
Rules.
Yeah. Okay. So here's your question, Dip.
Okay. The question is, what's one piece of advice you have for me regarding my love life?
Yes.
Oh my God, no. Oh my God.
I mean, we already talked about that a lot. So it's not like too different. But now it's on recording. That's even better.
Oh my god, the freaking like. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bring it home, baby.
This is only question number 2. So I know.
Okay, I'm ready.
I think you already kind of know, like, my advice to you because we talk about it quite a bit. I think for me, it's just like, given your current situation, being in Germany, being away from home, and for who knows how long that's going to be. For me, I think it's just to remember, like, have fun. Like, there's no need, like, because your future is a little more unknown, which is fine. Yeah. Like, it's perfectly fine. That's the adventure that you're on right now. My hair's gonna look crazy through this video, by the way. You're meeting such amazing people, meeting beautiful girls. Just have fun with it. Like, I don't think you need to focus on, like, the long term, like, until you have to cross that bridge, really. Like, enjoy. You already kind of do it. You enjoy people's company because you enjoy their company. And I think I've already seen you kind of grow with that, with a couple people there, especially. But just remember, like, have fun with it. Enjoy people's company because you enjoy their company. And if anything happens, it happens. There's no need. You'll know when, like, you want more. Yeah. Right? But it's a rabbit hole for sure. And I think that's kind of where I worry most for you because I
run into the rabbit hole.
Yeah. But I think that's true for any emotion that you show. Yeah. Like, when you're happy, you show happy. When you're sad, you show sad. And when you're angry, when we were younger, when you were angry, you were really mad. Yeah.
People don't see that here, and like they don't even know what that looks like. Like, they've only seen the positives.
But that's why, like, when you like somebody, you really like them. and which is not, I think everyone does that sometimes, but I just worry for you because, like, you are away from home, and, like, if anything was to happen, like, I can't take you out to a movie or take you to Mio and, like, hang out if someone, like, decides to be rude and break your heart, right? Yeah. So that's my advice. Take it or leave it. You already kind of know all that, but
yeah, no, it's good, and I need to learn to just, like, enjoy the ride sometimes, for sure. I just get so caught up in my own
head. Yeah.
My head and my heart, it just tends to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It definitely complicates things sometimes.
It definitely complicates things, for sure. It complicates a lot of things, and I dive into it.
Exactly. You just got to dive head first. You could give me some. Sure.
One piece of advice for love. You're a pretty open person. Like, again, I don't really get to just meet the girls you've dated, like, after you've kind of have been hanging out with them for a little while. So I'm not sure how that in the beginning goes, but, like, you are somebody who enjoys your time and things like this.
You don't have to answer it. We can just keep going.
I'm thinking about it, like. Yeah, we'll come back to it later.
Yeah, we'll come back. Maybe it'll come back to you. If people are going to watch this, we need to keep it moving. No one's going to sit around and watch it.
Yeah, I know. This is me thinking about what I want to say.
Ooh. This one's about the heart as well. They have little symbols at the top.
Uh-huh.
So you can, like, see the symbol.
Of course it is. A little heart.
And it's got a crack in it. How sad.
Oh, no. It's a heartbreak one.
What did the other ones have? The first one I told you had a full heart. Oh. The one you asked me had a clock going back like counterclockwise.
Yeah.
This one is, what are you hesitant to tell me?
What am I hesitant to tell you?
Yeah.
Again, I don't really think much because I feel like I've told you everything.
I know.
I feel like I'm super bluntly honest with you, my man. Like,
yeah, like you don't really, and I think it's similar. Like if we have a problem with something or anything, like there's nothing really I'm afraid or I hesitate to tell you about. Like,
yeah,
should I
like
tell
really,
Dip about this? I don't know.
I don't like. Legitimately, I'm thinking about it. Like, is there anything that I haven't like that I wanted to tell you but I haven't? No, like even in high school when I wanted to go to prom and I was like, who am I gonna go with? Because like my whole situation, like of dates falling through, and I was like, maybe I can take Andrea, just as like a friend. I like hit you up and I was like, hey man, is it cool? And you're like, yeah, go, like go have fun. I was like, all
Which
right.
didn't even make sense because I wasn't even really a thing with her.
No, it was, but still,
Like
like
we
you
were
know,
just like, I just was like at that time was just like, oh, I still kind of like her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
She's gonna
I was
watch
just like,
this and she's gonna see this part and
this
laugh
is
her ass off.
hilarious. But like for real though, you know what I mean? Like it's so funny. Like I don't think there's anything. No, because literally we've done everything. I've said everything I wanted to say to you. That I don't think I've ever not. No, like even I wanted you to train and come back to training. I worry about your health. Told you that everything. Like I feel like anything I need to say, I've. This is why it kind of goes back to the first question you asked me. Like this is why you're like one of the pinnacles of what I use as a measuring stick for friends because I literally have probably the most open relationship with you. Like I can just talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know. And you know that everything I say to you always comes from a place of like good intention toward you. So no, I guess I don't have.
You don't hesitate to tell. See, you go from
No,
like really highs up here, and it's like, oh, this is serious. Like that first question was super serious because you and I
yeah.
had never talked about those kind of things, and now, and there's definitely going to be somewhere it's like, is this even a question?
Yeah.
This isn't fun.
What about you? Is there anything that you're hesitant to tell me?
Probably when and if I was going to come back to Impact,
Mm-mm.
because
Yeah.
and I do feel the same with Studi. Like, she's like, you working out, and I'm like, how do I look at her message without her seeing that I looked at it?
Without a see. I hope it's and is laughing.
If she gets this far.
Uh,
It's out of embarrassment. But that's the only time probably I've hesitated is when we have talked about jits and like when I'm coming back.
It's
But
hilarious.
she's keeping the torch strong.
Yeah.
I'll do some shadow boxing here and there, but
You know I'll never be mad at you for that though. We've
yeah,
been through this, man.
exactly. I mean
We've
that's
been
why it's fun. It's funny. Like it's not
yeah.
like a serious. Like I don't think I've ever hesitated.
Yeah.
Like
Just when
yeah,
I'm coming when and if I come back.
yeah,
Always a win. It's always a win. Never
yeah,
knew.
yeah. You ready for yours?
All right, let's do it. A little bit further back, if you don't mind. What do you think I was born to do?
Definitely be wild. Born to be wild. I think you're starting to do it. I always thought you had a strong. You always remind me like of The Rock, like the way. Yeah, yeah. Just like your look on life and like he always smiles and like cares about people. Same with like Jason Momoa. Like he's another
Yeah.
person who I think whose kind of spirit you showcase. Like those are celebrity versions of it.
Yeah.
But I honestly think you were born to. I think you were born to like connect with people and connect them to what like what they like to do. Because you're, like I said, like you already do a lot of that, and that's the stuff I love watching you do. Is connect with people doing whatever. I mean, I haven't seen you karaoke, and I'm sure that would be amazing in the way you connect with people on that.
Kill it. I've been
Yeah,
killing it here.
yeah. But like you going to Germany was like something I think you were born to do. You were born to like share your personality with people all over. Right. I always imagine like if any of my friends could start a like be an influencer or a YouTube channel about themselves, would be you. Because like you have the personality, like the that I think like draws people in. Like I don't know any of my friends really who have personalities that do that in such a positive way. Like it's weird. I know people who have personalities that draw people in, but it's not because it's positive. It's like they're just really nice people.
Yeah.
But there are some weird ones. But like I've always imagined that like when you come back, not that this has to happen, but when you come back, you were going to have started like some like YouTube channel or something, and you were going to blow up, and you're going to have friends all over the world, sharing all sorts of things and stories with them. So it's really like what I think, because you've always done cool stuff. You know, tons of crazy, cool people. But yeah, that's really what I think. The sentence of it all. I think you were born to connect with people.
Oh, I'll take it.
I don't know if you've ever have thought about it as that way, but like
I do.
Yeah.
I think I was born to. I guess just talk to people. Yeah, like it's something that actually has recently gone through my head and like kind of transcended for a long time what I thought was just teaching, but like I'm like a dog inside of a person's body. I just want to like love people and get to know them. This is weird, but it's odd that this is coming back right now and like this game. I'm like it's literally something that went through my head recently, and I was like, it's kind of interesting to hear it from somebody else coming toward me rather than me just playing it in my own head over and over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So I would say that that's where what you're born to do is connect, and so that's why, like, I already know those friends you've made there, even the ones like when you were that were like visitors, like as you're traveling around. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up seeing some of those people again, like going and seeing them,
Yeah,
and things like that. And so
they'd be mad at me if I didn't.
exactly.
Okay. But I want to do this one for you because I do have something. What were you born to do? I think you were born to tap into your big J energy, EJE. And I think you're doing it right now. Just the same, I think you are tapping into that. Of course, the coronavirus has kind of put a little damper on that because you can't go out and do it. But like, I think that's been the coolest thing. Like this last year, especially last year and a half, where so many life shifts had happened for you between personal relationships and just like discovering, new friendships and things like that. And then watching you embrace life, like, like I jokingly call it big dip energy, be, but then watching you come along for the ride with me and then watching you then continue to take that torch and running with it. And it's not big dip energy anymore. It is in my heart when I see you do it. That's the big J energy. That's big JB energy. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's super freaking cool, man. Because I'm like, all I'm there is to kind of show some pathway, and then there's nothing that excites me more than to watch people let their own light shine, and then walk that path, and it just makes me so happy. And I watched you do it, man. Like even especially like since I like leading up to when I left. Oh, leading up to when I left, it's okay. Like all the activities we did together, and like going to weddings and like partying and like getting crazy,
Yeah, dude.
and then going to the beach and just like running into the ocean at like first thing in the morning. We went to the ocean and you were like, ah. And then like as soon as I came back, you're like, all right, they just did it too. And then like you just keep embracing it. You keep embracing life, and you're tapping into that inner that fire, and I think that's awesome. You did it since I've left too, and that makes me
I mean,
embrace that.
2019 was lit.
Huh?
2019 was great.
Yeah. That's what you were born to do, was to break through these layers that you've had and to see what you are fully capable of doing, and you're doing it, and that's awesome, man.
I mean, You should pat yourself on the back. Some of those habits are because of you. I used to not go out dancing until you would go out dancing with me, or I'd go with you. um, the beach thing, like I do that every time.
Yeah.
I've yet to get into the snow thing. That
Okay.
one's been a little harder.
Yeah.
Tried to this last time, but with 30 people that I didn't really
Yeah.
know, I was like, I
I mean,
don't
even
want to do
I would
that.
have a little bit of hesitation at 30 people. I mean, I'd probably still do it, but like, there'd still be like a moment of like, okay, there's a lot of people to be looking at me in my booty shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Down to my skivvies.
But no, I appreciate that. I think I'm still figuring that part out.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, some things changed, and I've seen nothing but positive things out of that, which is good for the most part. And
you're killing it, man. You're killing it, dude.
Yeah.
You seem like life seems to have more vigor for you now.
Yeah, sometimes, most of the
time. Again, besides this last couple of months, that's definitely put a damper on a lot of things. But
yeah,
I feel like up until that point, like it seemed like you were just, even during winter when you normally go into like a super hermit mode, like you were still like riding that wave. And I think that's the first time I've seen you blast through winter and not go into like a total like lockdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a big shift, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, gonna keep it going. Hopefully this next winter, if you're around, we'll or whatever's happening, try to get more in the snow and try to fall in love with winter.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
Okay, right. Next question.
Let's go.
To you. What's the one thing I could do that would dramatically improve my life?
Okay, this can't be now because again, you can't do much. You can't leave your house. I don't know. It kind of again, like up until this point, like it kind of goes back to the last thing that we just talked about, which is embracing discomforts of life, which is what you've been doing this last year. So you're kind of already doing it. I kind of answered this already, like. Mm-hmm. And again, it's something that I need to do. It's like the conversation we had, like right before. I don't know if you remember this, but we went to see Mr. Bliss at his facilities, and that night we were driving home, and I was like, "Man, why am I so afraid to do these things?" And he told me, "Dip, you go to Germany and you get some crazy opportunities come your way." And he said, "Don't even think about it, just do it." And it's and that's the idea of Big Dip energy, right? It's just to embrace life and the craziness that it comes with it. And that's for you is the Big J energy. It's you embracing that as well. And I feel like you have. It has, I think, and it has dramatically improved your life. You come back, you started training. Again, like, this is all relative to before coronavirus was a thing, right? But, like, yeah, like, you, even when I wasn't there, you were training, you were going in, doing squats, you were lifting, you started doing kickboxing. You fell in love with kickboxing, you started playing your guitar, and you were like, I don't have to do this all the time, but like just a couple of times a week, I play guitar, I do kickboxing, I do this, I lift, and you're going to these like different conferences, and you're meeting with people, and I'm watching this happen in your stories, like you embracing life. And I feel like if this game was played a couple of years ago, that would be my advice. But I feel like within this last year, especially, you did it, man. Like you were moving, you're making those strides in that direction. So,
yeah, I agree. I think you said it. What I was thinking is like the thing that would probably improve my life is like a form of physical activity, either with jits or kickboxing. It's just like doing that still.
Yeah.
Like even when I did jiu-jitsu, I mean nothing but until I dislocated my arms and stuff. Nothing but like positive things were coming out of it. And then same with kickboxing. It was like after every workout. So yeah.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Yeah. Like really, man, this game's easy. We're killing it.
I know. We got the hard stuff out of the way. Okay. Your next question. You ready?
Okay.
Make sure it's upright. Sorry. Nose itches.
Am I reading this to you? Okay.
Oh God, I can't see it. I don't know what it says.
How would you react if you caught me masturbating?
Wow, this went a completely different direction.
Really high peak, and then like slowly descended into this like what?
Now we're just kind of degenerates.
Yeah, exactly. How would you react if you caught me, Tip Tapa, your best friend, masturbating? Just, you know what I mean? Just cleaning out the pipes, taking care of business, dropping the kids. Well, not. It's a different analogy.
So many stories I
Oh,
want to discuss,
God.
but I won't.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh God. Oh, Jesus.
But we won't go into that if this is going to be on YouTube or something. But
This is hilarious.
I mean, I probably
guess now, if you caught me masturbating now, I don't know what that situation would look like. Maybe you crashing at my place because it gets late and you want to drive home, and then what? I'm like beating the meat at like 2 a.m, and you walk into my room for whatever reason.
I'd probably. I don't even like imagining if I accidentally opened your door, and that's what I saw. I feel like I wouldn't like slam the door. I would just look away.
Yeah.
But I'd continue to stand there and be like, dude, what are you like?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be in shock mostly.
Yeah.
I'd probably start laughing.
It just be a surprise. It's like if I walked into you peeing, I'm like, oh, my bad. Like I just like close the door, like, all right, do you, boo boo?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'd be disgusted, but I definitely would start laughing. Like, okay.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like
I'd finish whatever I was gonna tell you. And then be like,
yeah.
When you're done,
I just want to discuss something with you real quick.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as awkward as it would be with some of my other friends, for sure.
Oh yeah. It'd be hilarious.
If anybody, you're probably the one that's probably most likely for it to occur with. If we were in like the same city.
Yeah, maybe we move in together and this is what happens. This is the ins and outs of it.
Like
yeah.
I definitely with you. There was only a handful of friends. I'd probably be like would like egg them. You'd probably be one of them too. That I'd probably be like super happy for you.
Yeah.
Be like, get
super
it, dude. Get it. Yeah, get it. Boy. Yeah. And I'd want like afterwards. I'd want to talk details. Like, what were you looking at? What were you?
Yeah.
Which might be too far. But that's why I said you and I could probably play like the Lovers Edition or that open.
Yeah. That's exactly what I would do. If I walked in on you, I would just have like, whoa, wait, my bad, dude. And I'd close the door and then I'd, if I had something I needed to say, be like, hey man, like when you're done, I gotta talk to you about something. And I'd probably be like, I'll see you in like 5. And that'd be fine. You'd come out, we'd probably laugh about it.
I probably would not continue after that, to be honest. My train of thought completely disturbed, and I'd be either laughing or super embarrassed. And
I just do my best sang song from Mortal Kombat, like finish him. It'd be fine, bro. I feel like it'd be fine. It's just like it's normal, whatever. And I'm comfortable with you enough that it's like not the end of the world, you know?
Yeah.
Again, to me, it's like the same as if I walk in to take the shit. I'm like, whoa, my bad, dude. Let me just close the door. Do you, boo boo?
I honestly would prefer that one to happen, but things happen.
Yeah.
I'm getting up and moving around because I need to plug in my phone, but we're still going.
Why is my phone blowing up all of a sudden? Like, try to do one thing and all of a sudden all I get is messages.
I know. I have a bunch of like New York Times saying this and that, and I'm like, okay. I'm switching my headset too because hair's crazy.
Ooh, all over. Just some people here in a second.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I can. All right.
Okay.
Your turn?
Yep. Just get my phone to charge. I hate my phone. There we go. Okay. It's not charging yet. Isn't this game great?
I love this game. This game is fun.
Yeah.
Definitely did not kill me as much as I thought it would. But that's, I feel
Yeah.
like, because our friendship is dope, man. That's why,
Yeah.
because we kill it. You know what I mean? We murder it in the game of friendship.
Yeah. And that game has like, they find like serious, like they probably have dozens of people come through and do it, and then they pick the most intense versions.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I
okay.
feel like we'd have a fun one though, because it'd be like, oh man, these guys are just like good friends.
Oh, yeah.
They just really like each
They
other.
would, they would definitely have us on more than once.
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh,
Okay.
sounds good. You ready?
Yes.
What's your greatest fear about getting older?
My greatest fear about getting
Older.
idea of getting older itself first. This is something I've said a lot recently, and I genuinely mean it. I am not afraid of getting older. I actually love it. I love the fact that I get to
Really?
be old. Yeah. Like, a lot of people are like weird about getting older. They're like, "Oh, I'm almost 30, blah blah blah." I I like am excited about getting to be older because, dude, like, I come from Nepal. My dad has like 30% of his friends that are not alive anymore because people's idea and, you know, understanding of health and care is so outdated, and they're not, you know, like, to get to be older is like a privilege in
Yeah.
my eyes, and it's something that is should be embraced, you know, because every year I get older, this means I've had more experience and I've got to meet more people and had beautiful relationships. Like, that's, there's nothing that has, as I've gotten older, like, there's nothing that's really come with it that's been, the only thing from getting older has sucked is that, like, I take longer to heal. You know what I mean? Like, but I still feel young.
Like
Like, I still
physically
feel
heal.
young. Yeah, like, exactly. You know, but like everything else, I love it. I love getting older. Like, the aging is a beautiful thing for me, and I fully embrace it. Now, the fear of getting older, I guess. What was the question exactly again? It was like, what do I fear the most about getting older?
Yeah.
I guess like physical pain. That's kind of annoying. Just because I take longer to heal from things. Um, some of the diseases that can come from age is kind of scary. Like, this is more just like my fears, not really from getting older. It just so happens that age can aggravate some of these things, I guess. You know, like, my dad did have a heart attack at a fairly young age, so I'm at a higher propensity for it as well. So I work
Hmm.
with to try to, you know, flatten the curve in that sense. Um, Also, like, fears of like losing my mind. That's scary to me. You know, so not necessarily like getting to an old age, but like not being me anymore. And that
Hmm.
tends to happen at older ages more, right? Where you just lose your identity. And for me, like, I've shed so many identities as I've gotten older. You know, like, first it was like being in high school, then it was having a relationship, then it was being a taekwondo person, and then it was being a jiu-jitsu person. I had to shed that when I left, you know, and then I was shedding the idea of being a coach. Now I'm like a cashier at a burrito shop, which I love, you know, and like, so I constantly shed identities, and I constantly am peeling away all these extra layers, and it leaves behind the core essence of me, Dip. And the thing that scares me the most is I'll get to a point where, because I guess because of my age, it can aggravate if I have that in my I don't know if I do or not, because again, like, we don't have a very good medical history in Nepal, right? If that is something that's there, that terrifies me, to lose my mind, to slowly lose everything I've built in here and in here. That terrifies me more than death. That terrifies me. Um, and again, like, not being able to move my body is another thing that scares me. And again, those things can come with age. Of course, I'm doing everything I can to offset that as much as I can. That's why I try to eat well and work, move my body, and all this stuff, right? So I can curve that out as much as I can. But that's the only real fear, man. Like, to lose my mind, to lose my body, that terrifies me. While, you know, still, if I lose my body while still being able to think about it, that would suck. If I lose my mind altogether, I wouldn't even be conscious of the fact that it's gone, and that is just like, it's logical, but it terrifies me.
Hmm.
But
No.
aging in and of itself, I fully embrace it. I love that. I love that I'm 28. I'm turning 29 this year. That's weird. I never thought I would be. Think about that, man. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna be in I have less than a year and a half before I'm 30. That is wild. And that is exciting to me. I think about everything I've gotten to do and accomplish and meet people. Dude, it's wild. I'm excited. Bring me,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
That
embracing.
I completely agree. The fact you're talking about the shedding thing,
Yeah,
that's like the I was just thinking about that, and my mom kind of talked about it too. Is like kind of how amazing it is that you're in Germany now.
yeah.
Like that is something I never thought you would do. Like I not that I thought you couldn't do it. I just
Right,
like
but that I wouldn't, because for a long time I had no interest in traveling.
yeah, but through those shedding thing, it's like growing up. A lot of the times I would stay the night at your place,
Yeah,
and the moment you stayed over at mine, that was like a huge deal. It was a
that was a
big deal.
huge.
Um, and then just like the relationship you've gone through, and mostly the things I've noticed are just like these changes of like when you started eating different foods that you didn't used to eat before, and um, Germany definitely was like a big one where I was like, wow, like
This is happening. Yeah,
this is this big dip energy right here. Like
yeah,
this is a power move and it's awesome. Um, for not having gone really too far away from home
yeah.
to like going to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And it's
And
just
that's
crazy by yourself
terrifying.
and just like, yep, I'm just moving there. And something I don't think I would consider doing. But the moment you said like, I remember when you decided to make that trip and you were like, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Germany. And it became a reality, like you were telling enough people that you had to do it.
Yeah, I have to will it
Otherwise,
into existence. I think that's something I said a lot. This
yeah,
the
because like you didn't want it to be something that you said, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this," and then like you never did.
Yeah.
That was not the way you roll ever.
No,
You never roll that way. I've never
no,
seen you say something.
everything. It's
I'm gonna
everything.
do this,
It's a
and
full sprint into the ocean, man.
yeah,
There's no tippy toeing into the water. It's just yeah.
yeah. Like I can't think of very many situations where you haven't done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are legit fears. I think those are ones that as you get like turning 30
Yeah.
soon, definitely I have the same ones. Like I do know my medical history,
Yeah.
and I'm still afraid. I think the age to me that stands out is like 54.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to die when I'm 54,
Yeah, man.
like from some like stupid health thing that I could avoid.
Yeah.
Um,
I do that. I don't want to lose you at 54.
yeah, and
I,
it's like you talked
I
about like your dad
yeah.
and his friends, and I think the moment I had that realization was when we went to my uncle's funeral,
Yeah.
and
Smart, man.
his like best friend came up,
Yeah.
and you and I could just talk to each other, and we're just like
Yeah.
crying because we weren't. I mean, I was sad. I for my uncle, and I was sad for his friend, but I was mostly thinking about you next to me. It's like I don't want Dad to be at my funeral.
No, I don't, bro. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no one
That's
does.
why. That's why I have honest conversations with you, man. Like I, I, like I imagine to this day I'll have kids one day, and I want their Uncle Jay to be around.
We got plenty of
And
time.
there's the emotions. We did so good. We did so good until now. But like really, I think about that, like whether I will or not, I hope I have kids one day. I want you to be in their life. You know what I mean? Like whether it's my own kids or I adopt or they're just my students, I want them to know who you are. I
Hmm.
want them to know who you are because you're such a vital part of my life, like, such a major factor for who I am. And I can't imagine my life with you not in it. That terrifies me. I
Well,
think
I don't
that's what
plan on dying, so don't worry.
no, that's the real fear in my life, other than my mind, is losing people.
Hmm.
Uh, It's childish, but I don't like to let people go, man.
Yeah. I know that's when I talk about fear of getting older, that's like, I mean, obviously I fear for my own life
Yeah.
and death of that, but like, it's a reality of what's going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's just, luckily we still have time to figure it. I mean, you bought your dad more time. Like, you literally did that. You literally bought him more time.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a bridge that, you know,
We all gotta cross at some point.
yep. And, hopefully it's not our friends first.
Yeah.
That would completely destroy me. But, come to the realization, I mean, my grandparents, I haven't lost a grandparent yet. I'm
Yeah.
almost 30. They're all turning like 86 or
Yeah,
around
man.
there.
I wish I came to see your grandma before I left, and like, I,
She's doing well.
I
She's
know. I
still
am so mad.
vibrant.
I wish I had.
Yeah, it's okay. We video chatted her.
I did. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I miss grandma.
yeah.
I love her.
But she asks about you every time. She's like, "How's Dip?"
I love her so much. Please tell her I miss her.
I will.
And that I
My
love
mom,
her.
my mom talks to her every day. So when we talk to her tonight, I'll plug you.
Good. Do a little dip plug.
Yeah,
Good.
that was a good
Yeah,
one.
we were killing it, right?
Are
I
you
was
ready
like,
for your?
fear of aging, I got this. And, oh God. And then the reality of life
Okay,
slapped me.
I've got your next one
All right,
to
I'm
ask.
ready. Well, hold up, let me just compose myself. Okay, what do you think I value the most?
What an easy question.
I know. Yeah, I got like the what do you fear of aging? And I'm like, what do you think I value the most?
uh, I think there's two parts to it because I think you value these things equally because one of them matters to you, but the other one matters to other people, and I think that matters to you. So I think you value friendship the most. Like your friends are your friends, and when people aren't your friends, it like those are some of the times I've seen you pretty unhappy when people have tried to screw you over and be a dick to you when you've been nothing but nice. And uh, so I think that's something you value the most, and you value your friends the most, and family, obviously, because you pretty much treat your friends like family. But I think you value like happiness for others, like whether you have the impact on them or not, you just want everyone to be happy, and because that's what matters to them. So I mean that's why it's easy to answer, and it's kind of just like cheesy, like you value your friends the most,
Ironic.
but it's not. I think that's pretty accurate. Is like you value your friends and you value like their happiness, like not necessarily like your happiness, like you value that, but like I've seen yourself, you kind of be unhappy so that other people could be happy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, and um, I mean I don't know how to explain it. I think it just explains itself. I don't
Yeah,
know. Is
no,
that how you feel?
it's actually very fair. It's very fair.
Do you
I
value like what? How would you answer that question for yourself? Like, what do you value the most?
uh, I value people. I value human beings. I value
Mm-hmm.
interactions, and I value relationships. Any and all kinds of relationships, intimate friendships, everything. Like somebody asked me recently, like, what's the most important thing to you? And I literally answered people. Like, I mean, growing up, it was always like, people tell you like, don't put people ahead. Like, you got to put yourself ahead. You gotta get a good job, go to school, get a good job, all this stuff, right? And for me, it's always been like people come first, like every time. Every time people come first, because if they don't come first, what's even the point? Is what I feel like.
Yeah.
And like that's at the end of the day, that's all we got. we got. Like, this, again, this coronavirus happening right now. And the only thing we can support, like, that's it. No fancy jobs. No amount of academic studies is making you feel any more secure in your life. You know, people people reaching out, that's what's keeping people going. So maybe I wasn't completely crazy for investing in human beings.
No. And that's I think it's great you bring that up because I'm going to get a little political here for a second. It's like, I always believe that people come first when it comes to things like this that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And that's all, like, I haven't had my calling yet because I'm still working. I still have things I need to take care of to take care of myself.
Yeah.
But, if there comes a time, like if there's a calling for help out there because of this, I'm hoping, I know you will answer it. You already have, for one. But like, I think that's going to happen is everyone's going to have to make a decision whether they help take care of others or take care of themselves. But that kind of relates is like what's important.
Yeah.
And to you, it's people. And that's why you're probably one of my best friends because we completely, unarguably agree on it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've met really anybody else who feels the same.
That's really, yeah. And that's what I appreciate, man. Like, you do. At the end of the day, you care. That's such a, to me, like, there's nothing, I say attractive. I don't even mean like in like a partner sort of sense, but like in terms of like from the heart being drawn to, there's nothing I find more attractive to my soul than emotional intelligence and caring for another human being. Like that, I thought about this a lot, is like the top of the list of things that I find that I'm drawn to. That's the fire that makes me want to come closer.
Yeah.
And you do have it. And Subrat has it. Like, that's probably why I'm drawn to you guys the way I am. Like, like you guys naturally just care. And that's a beautiful thing. I love that about you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something I always wish I cared more. But I care more about, like, I care about it when I think it matters, which I think I can tell when that is.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's where you agree too. Is like, of course, like seeing each other, talk to each other all the time, texting, that can matter. But like, if we can't do that, it's not a big deal. But it's like those big things, those big experiences.
Or
like
when
me,
the rubber hits the road.
Yeah, exactly. And I think some of the friends that we both share, they have attributes of that where it's like Subrat definitely is one of those people, like if you need help or it's something important, Subrat has your back. I know if I had something really important I needed to do, I could call Subrat and be like, dude, I need your help on this. And I know he'll drop whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And then you have like Ian, who is just like, I think that's where he's more like you. Like he really cares about people. The way he talks to people, and even when he messages me, it's super meaningful. I can tell, and I feel bad because I'm not good at it.
I think you are. I think you don't give yourself enough credit, man.
But that's why, I mean, these guys do probably not know it, and now they're gonna know if they make it through 53 minutes and 54 minutes of a video. That I do appreciate those qualities about them, and I do think about them all the time, even if I don't show it. We're down to our last two cards.
Whew, dang.
Yeah.
Okay,
your last question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Wow, we've kind of talked about this the whole time.
Okay.
But what makes this friendship work the way it does?
Oh man, we have talked about this the whole time basically. It's the fact that we're on the same page of understanding. Like, we both love each other and care about each other and understand the dynamics of each person's life, and we don't expect. We're just understanding, and I think that's a big thing, right? Like, we have a very deep understanding of, even when we're miles apart and even when we don't see each other for days, weeks, months, when we get back together, it's like not, we never skipped a beat. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's such a it's such a, I don't know why it just has been like that. And we've had times where we were hanging out almost every, like during summer when we were in Center Plaza and you moved out of Center Plaza, we were hanging out like almost every
Oh yeah.
day. And that dramatically went down. And then we went to different high school, and then college happened, and it went down to like again like every 3 months, maybe long. And it was always an understanding of like, I think it's because we, like, I love you so much. I want you to succeed in every facet of your life. And I know that if I'm just like constantly around you, like you can't be the best version of you if I'm constantly just like, if you're just spending all your energy investing in me only, you're not gonna get. So for me, it's investing in himself and to see each other all the time, because I know that when we're back together, I have such, it's what it is I have such confidence in our relationship, our friendship. I have such,
Yeah.
even if we weren't to talk to for years, which I hope never happens, such confidence in our friendship that I would never, my feelings for you would never falter. It would never change. I know in my heart I would still care about you just the same, and that when we get back together, it would be like nothing had changed. I know this in such a deep level. You know what I mean? That's confidence that, like, that's what I look for in relationships. It's a funny thing. Like, even like that's what I constantly look for somebody who's like, dude, I look for people like you, man. Like, like that I can trust. Like,
Uh,
you know what I mean? Like that I can trust so fully that I have no fear that I would lose you, because I will never lose you, because I know that our friendship is so real. I know this. It's there's nothing could happen to me. Question that. We can get through anything. That's how I feel
yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I You're taking the words right out of my mouth. I mean, that's the fact you brought up the relationship thing, I think is exactly the same. Like
Yeah,
having been through, and I'm sure you experienced this, but like been through a couple of longer relationships where that was kind of the one of the problems in it was, that flexibility.
yeah,
um, which is kind of hard to do in a relationship generally, because kind of what's the point, I guess? I don't really understand it. But like, if I don't see you for a couple days, like, or we don't talk, which at the time, like, I was a little bit farther than that in the relationship where we probably should see each other
yeah,
in some form or fashion. But, I was saying those are the things that I look for in friendships. And it's definitely like, it's not a test I run on people, but it's something I notice immediately.
yeah,
Um, but it's also how I gauge how people like want a relationship, like just friendships, right?
yeah,
Like, and how much they weight it. If you're like, hey, like sometimes I'll cancel on people, and depending on how they react to that, it will kind of tell me, okay, with this person, if I'm gonna be a friend to them, this is what I need to do. Like,
yeah.
say if I'm gonna say
This
I'm gonna do
is
something, we need to do it. Otherwise, they're gonna be pissed, and we're not gonna be friends.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's a great question because we've been talking about it the whole time.
Yeah, like literally, like the whole discussion was kind of circled back around to it again.
Yeah.
Damn.
The last question.
All right.
It's all you.
Last question. Oh, we'll go back just a little bit. What advice would you give the 14-year-old me? 14-year-old Dip. What advice would you?
14-year-old. What were you doing?
The hell? What was I?
Lots of
What the
PS.
hell was I?
Lots of PS2.
PS2. Like I
Maybe.
was 14 means I would be in freshman year high school.
Yeah, we had just gone to freshman year.
Yeah.
What advice would I have given
Yeah, I would
before?
have just turned 14. I was I had a mad crush on Jade. I had a mad crush on her at the time, but I don't think I talked about it very much yet. So can't really be that. I was
You were
about to
angry a
start.
lot. You were
Yeah, I had a
still
lot
angry a
of.
lot.
Yeah, but I
You were
hadn't started
super
martial arts,
intense.
so I wasn't punching walls yet.
Yeah. But you were still like, you were probably still really, not that you're not into these now, but like you were really into uh, like, uh, what are they? The animal transforming things. I can't believe I'm forgetting this.
Animal transforming things.
Like,
Transformers.
fuck yeah, that's the name of. Tra- Sorry, I was thinking like the animal ones, but yeah, just Transformers. What are the
Okay,
what
so
are
the word that is it, the animal transforming.
um and Bionicles and I don't know. I don't know what advice I would give. Just like
I did have a lot of anger at 14. Like I didn't have an outlet yet, I think. I was playing Bloody Knuckles with everybody. Like that was like a big thing for me. I was like a small dog trying to prove himself to like everybody that was bigger than me, I feel like. That's
yeah.
what I did in middle school and like early. I just played Bloody Knuckles.
I think the thing I would probably tell the 14-year-old, I'd probably tell them two things. Two. The first one is that everything's gonna be okay. Like I know um just like your I mean the crushes you had, the people you liked, the high school being high school, like everything's gonna be fine because like you recognize it. Like you were angry a lot. You weren't angry at me like ever at the time,
No.
but when we would talk about what was going on, through high school, you talk about like, yeah, I punched this wall because this person is doing something that's upsetting me. Especially, a lot of the anger I think was revolving around more romantic anger.
Yeah.
Um, and I would, that would be my advice to that you at that age is like everything's gonna be okay. That you know it's gonna work out. It's not gonna work out the way you think it is. For one,
Yeah.
as much as you want it to.
As much as you wanted to let's just say 14 to 18, that whole age range, right?
Yeah, as much as you want it to, it's not gonna work out the way you want, and it's gonna be better than what you wanted.
Yeah.
Like I think the life since then, like if you look at like where high school and what you're doing is great, but looking at everything you've done since then, 10 years. It's been 10
Yeah.
years. This is our June will be our 10-year uh right?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
graduating.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Scary. um I mean, look at all the stuff you've become a teacher and a black belt in Taekwondo. You transferred over to a different martial arts where you're really high level in that. You teach kids. Um, you're really into dancing. You were getting into dancing in high school.
Yeah.
You kind of fell out of it, but you're back in it. Um, but I think like your personality has just gotten way bigger. Like
Yeah.
like at that time you were reserved. Like you weren't as unless
I
you were like
was.
around me. Um,
I still had this like image I wanted to portray of like what kind of a strong stoic man I was. That 14, 15-year-old machismo nonsense of like I'm tough and I'm really stoic. When in
yeah,
reality, I'm like, you know,
yeah.
you're right. I
And
didn't think about that. I always assume I was always been like, Wah! But like,
no, you weren't like that all the time. Like because I mean we were kids too, so like
yeah,
we're under our parents' rule,
right.
right? So like couldn't I think it wasn't until I was probably in my 20s that I actually started disobeying my mother
Yeah,
and
me too.
carving out, um, which isn't a bad thing,
No,
but like I feel like now. I have the most personality I've ever had. You definitely have the most personality you've ever had.
Yeah.
And that'd just be the advice is like, it's going to be okay. It's not going to turn out the way you want it. And I'm going to tell you that it's going to turn out better than you thought you wanted. Like
Yeah.
you think you want this, but let me tell you, in 10 years, you're going to have something completely different and you're going to be thankful for it.
Yeah.
Like if you had gotten what you wanted at that time,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd be happy and everything would be awesome and we'd be saying the same thing now.
Yeah.
But think of all the people you've met, all the things you've done,
Yeah.
the relationships you still have, the relationship you still have with Jade.
Yeah.
Like it's still a great relationship, right? And um yeah, that's what I'd say is like you may not know it, but you're gonna impact so many more people. Like you only had our close friends, right? And
Yeah.
it was just like you and I would hang out every weekend, every single weekend from like Friday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a
I'd
good time.
probably be over at your house, or you'd come over to my house for the day, and I'd
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, see you tomorrow."
It's like, yeah.
Yep. Um, and I think it was until I think we out of high school that our circles really expanded. We started
Yeah.
meeting better people.
Eventually got bigger.
Yeah, and um, the impact you have on all those people's lives. I don't think 10 years ago, 15, 14 years ago, you would have guessed that.
Yeah. Dude, I'd totally like even forgotten that how reserved I was through high school. Like I still try to be a nice person to people, but like you're absolutely right. Like when I was like 14 and stuff, I was a much different person. Like
Yeah.
I was a lot more shy, a lot more reserved. Again, I had this nonsense of like stoic, like how I thought I should be. It's so silly to me, but like yeah, like I always think like my personality is really big, but it's like nah, it took time to get there.
Hmm.
And and like advice wise to a 14, 15-year-old JB would be actually exactly what you said, man. Like what you think you want right now, it's like your life is gonna get so much exponentially more crazy awesome. You're gonna do so much crazier things. You're gonna go running in the ocean at one point and love it. You're gonna scream into the ocean and embrace life. Like, can you imagine looking at your 14-year-old self being like, "This is what one day, this is what you're gonna do with your homie."
Yeah.
And you look at like a 14-year-old, you look at a 14-year-old all angry, sleep in the same bed, like what the heck, without a pillow between us. Like so
Oh,
different, man. Like so different. Can you imagine like you at our age now, sitting down and talking to you, me, 14-year-old, like how like that what a weird trippy moment that would be for us.
I would literally tell my 14-year-old self, work on your haircut. Here's what you need to do. Get this long hair now and start working on that. I had some of the worst haircuts growing up.
Yeah.
You used to have a buzz cut.
Yeah. And not look at like, can you imagine a 14-year-old dip looking at me like
Yeah. You'd be
this?
like, what's with
What
your
is
hair?
it? Yeah. Get in, kid. Oh, super wild, man. It's just super wild.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
how different. We're we're twice. Well, you're gonna be twice the age of 14 here soon. That's wild. I am twice.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's creepy.
Is it? Again, I love it. It's just weird to think that I am here. Because at 14, you don't think you're gonna get here ever. The number seems so far away.
Yeah. I don't remember. I wasn't thinking about turning 30 when I was 14.
Yeah.
Not a thought in my mind.
No, at 14, the only thing that was going through my head was I have a crush on this girl. I want to do martial arts. I want to be a man. I want people to take me seriously. That's what's going through my head. It's just like an idiot. It's like yeah, like a 14-year-old. It's like no matter how mature you are, you're still an idiot at 14. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, Nothing wrong with that. Like, it's okay. All of it's good. Some good times.
Yeah,
Some good
dude.
times at 14 too.
Oh, a lot of good times. I just same as you. I probably wasn't angry. I was just like super emo all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
because
like
you did go through an emo phase. I mean, you're listening to a lot more emo music. You're doing your thing, man.
I was just
I was
being
listening to,
sad to be sad.
yeah, I was like, I went from like Green Day to like listening to heavier stuff. Like I was like, you went into the screamo world, and I went into like Rage Against the Machine and Disturbed, and System of a Down, things like that. Like, yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
definitely went to different areas. I think
yeah,
the last thing I think I remember us listening to really at the same time was like System of a Down and Rammstein,
yeah.
and then it deviated quickly from there.
Yeah, no, and then our music taste, yeah, diverged greatly. It's super wild. Think about that.
Well, that's it. That's all of them, dude.
Dang, we did it. We only
That's 10
cried. I
questions.
only cried one time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I almost had me, but
yeah.
I knew it was being recorded, so I was like, keep yourself together.
Yeah.
Keep yourself together.
Bro, I started thinking about things and I was like, I'm not ready. Did so good up until that point too. I was like, man, I got this. Like, rock solid. And then it's just hit me rock.
Yep, and everyone. That was good enough. You could post that.
I'll put that up.
Yeah.
Solid hour
Yeah,
and
dude.
hour
The
and
good.
11
There's not
minutes. I'm
some
gonna
like
stop
weird
the
things in
recording.
it. Yeah. Go ahead and stop
Huh?
it.
I'm gonna start recording. Say bye to the YouTube people.
Bye, YouTube people. Hope you enjoyed
Bye.
learning more about our deep dark secrets.
Yes, that's right. Okay, recording stops now. Stop recording.